Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Monday workout. We're doing some heavy back squats followed by a little core and accessory work to finish it with a benchmark coming tomorrow. So let's begin with our warm-up. It's 3 rounds, progressively shorter and quicker. So 20, 15, and then 10 calories, row, bike, or ski, your choice. And then I want to get 8 reps on each side of our drinking bird. Remember on the drinking bird, similar idea as the windmill, right? I want to keep weight balance between the 2 feet. I don't want either leg to be favored or locked out. I want a slight bend in both knees, but I'm feeling most of the stretch on the hamstring on the front leg. Next, we're going to do bench step overs. We talked about it last week, sort of like the idea of using the hip, the rotator cuff of the hip muscle is the piriformis glute med, right? So those are some of the muscles we're trying to get on this one, but kicking way out and picking your knee up high. So as opposed to just swinging my leg over straight like this, I would like to bring that knee up high, keep my heel close to my butt so that I use those other alternate muscles in the hip. And then we'll do a 15-second psoas lunge on each leg. So stick that pipe into the ground, opposite foot about even with the end of the pipe. And then we're twisting into the pipe to stretch the psoas muscle as well as hip flexor and the lat. And then the last one is just a warm-up set of back squats. So set up your rack, set up your bar, do a warm-up set, progressively heavier each round, and then you'll be ready to go into your percentage sets. Very low volume, significant weight today. It's the second of 3 6-week cycles that we go through in the midst of our strength training template. So this is the number 2. If you feel like maxing out, max out. If you don't, just hit a heavy single. And remember, the real importance is consistently hitting these lifts week after week after week. It's more important that you do the lifts than it is that you hit a super heavy number when you do hit the lifts. So you'll make better long-term progress in terms of joint health, performance, and just regulating the body's ability to do these tasks if you get mediocre workouts weekly as opposed to one awesome workout once a month. All right, so after the back squat does have a pair of supersets, and it is in line with the contrast training method that we were talking about. So you're gonna rack your back squats. That we're doing 4 max height vertical jumps. So you can do like a frog hop, touch the ground, jump, and pull your knees up, or just try to jump as high as you can 4 times in a row. These should be cycled pretty quick, back to back to back. And then the next one is a band knee tuck, right? So this is hip flexors and lower abdominals. We've got the band pretty low on the rig, and then I'm just putting my toes up through the band and then kind of inching army crawl reverse on the way out to get a little tension on the band, and then tucking my heels to my butt and then extending straight back out, and tucking heels to butt and extending straight back out. All right, that's our band knee tuck. So that takes us through all of our strength stuff for today. Make sure you're recording your heaviest singles in SugarWOD. And then we're going to our accessory stuff. So this is intended to be done at a quality pace, and that we are doing some rehab, some core strengthening, some shoulder strengthening exercises in these types of workout. They're not intended to be super high intensity, but if all you do is don't rest between exercises, you will get an aerobic effect out of this. You will sweat, you will burn, you will get all of the cool endorphin rush stuff. So just don't think of it as for time, and definitely don't rush through the movements such that you would sacrifice the quality of how you move, okay? So 2 to 3 rounds, 8 reps of the dumbbell pullover. So start perpendicular to the bench on the dumbbell pullover. I like to set my hands right when I start doing it. And then I'm just extending my arms all the way over my head, trying to reach for the ground. My lower body is like a tabletop, so I don't want to be like sagging or punching my hips up too high, just staying nice and level. I'm doing 8 reps of that dumbbell pullover. Then we got a 90 degree flutter kick, and this is 40 reps, so relatively high volume. But if this bugs your hips at all, you can try putting your hands underneath your butt. But I want to see a 90 degree angle between the legs. However, if you have one leg that has like a snapping hip tendon, you can play with the angle that you hold your feet at, right? And a lot of times that can eliminate the snapping just by giving the tendon a new place to ride as your hip extends, or you can just go to the bicycle crunch, right? And that should help it out a little bit. But make sure you tell your coach, don't just let that happen over and over and over again. Next one is a front foot elevated split squat. So now I've got my plate maybe 4 to 6 inches off the ground, and I'm starting in this good lunge stance, but instead of lunging, I'm going forward and down, trying to drive this knee as far forward of my toe as possible as I keep this heel planted on the plate, and then pushing back out of the movement. So think about forward and down, upward and back, okay? As opposed to straight up and down like a lunge. And then the last one is a WYT. This is a bent over exercise that I'm doing for rotator cuff. So I'm making the W shape, then I'm making the Y shape, then I'm making the T shape, and then I repeat that 8 times. And the magic on this one is in the squeeze in each of those different positions. As opposed to how far you can make your arm move, think about how much tension you can create in the shoulder complex and creating stability in the joint when you do that. All right, that's it for today. Lots of detail, but a good one to prepare for our benchmark tomorrow. Have a great one. See you tomorrow.